Spiral Throwers, today we are reviewing a Vapor Elite, professionally prepped by Game Ready Football Prep out of Florida. Mario Corona is the name of the fellow who did this for me. And I have a lot to say about this. I've been critical of mudding in the past, especially the idea that you should pay $50 for a tin of mud from some riverbed and God knows where. So this is a bit of a change for me in terms of my opinion on mudding and what the process can bring to a ball and the feel of a ball specifically. Couple of things I want to note here before I get into the quality of the ball, which we will talk about. There's a lot of mudding services out there, Gridiron Football Prep, Ball Breakers, among others. I don't know how I found Mario, to be honest with you. I can't remember, but I chose Mario because he's got just an incredible set of reviews on his website, not only for the product that he gives, for the money. So you have here the cost. This is all in American dollars. I paid a little bit more than this for shipping plus duty at the border too. Not cheap, but worth it. We'll talk about all that. The reason I took him as opposed to the others is because I can't find a negative review on his website, not only about the product, like I said, but about the communication about the product and the process. In my own experience with Mario, I, told him what I wanted and went through the process of picking the inlays, colors, lacing, all that stuff. And then along the way, told him that I wanted to make a video about the ball, that I had a little channel, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him if he would mind sending me some media. So he sent me a short clip, a TikTok style video, and then a before and after photo as well, which you've seen, but I'll put up again during the video, maybe right here, just so you can see it a second time. So I had a feel for what was going on with the ball during the process. And he's got a criminally underfollowed YouTube channel, Instagram page, and TikTok page. This is like, I think, cool work personally, like mudding footballs and football prep. Obviously, I run a channel about footballs. I'm a rec league quarterback. I have no reason to do this other than because I have all the gear for my other podcast. And as I've always said, I think people care a lot about this stuff because the balls are expensive. The products to care for the balls are expensive. And you want to get the best experience while you have your ball. And that sometimes means guessing on what to do with it, what to buy, what services to use, which ball to get, stuff like that. So I'm trying to do this in a way that makes sense for everyone so that you don't have to spend the money that I've spent doing this stuff. That said, this is a really high quality product. I'll just go through my configuration here. So I ended up getting dimpled black laces as opposed to the suede you see on the balls normally. I ended up with the raised inlays a la the Adidas Dime. I got brown leather, although you never know it given the darkness of this leather, and obviously the yellow and black logo. Ball looks great. I don't really know how to review a ball for mudding and prepping, but I'm going to do my best to talk about basically a few things. One is the fit and finish of the process. So how do the stripes look? How do the laces look? How do the logos look? How does it feel? I'm going to talk about the dimpling. I'm going to talk about what I would call the sort of difficult to reach areas, the seams, the seams on the panels here, seams for the inlays, and also stuff like around the logos and in the laces. I'm also going to talk about the softness of the ball and whether or not I feel like this was quote unquote broken in or just the color was changed. And then I'll give sort of my overall opinions on it. And you can decide whether or not you want to use Mario or another ball breaking service to do this sort of thing for you. So first and foremost, let's talk about the quality of the process. So Mario uses a process that I think is proprietary. He didn't tell me what he did, but you can kind of gather from his videos. He's doing a lot of the things that other companies do and are recommended to people who are breaking in balls, though it's unclear for how long or with which products exactly. Shaving cream. He's got the lathe that you see on the Big Game USA website. He's got some big game products. He's got, I think, a mink oil stick or some similar stick for softening the leather, and then some kind of mud. The process leaves the ball blacker than night. I mean, this is almost impossibly dark for a ball that came brown. And there's no signs anywhere that this was a different color when it was manufactured, which is difficult to do. At the very least, you would expect to see something in the seams or by the valve stem or whatever, but you just don't see it, which is, I think probably hard to do. Again, this is like almost impossible to imagine that this was another color at some point. I don't know how he did it. It's some kind of black magic, but it looks great. As far as the seams, one of the things I've noticed when I'm mudding balls on my own is that these seams pick up the color of the mud. But here, what do you see? Nothing really. I mean, they look basically pristine. I mean, if I pull out my dime with similar laces, I mean, this ball's been used a handful of times, but like it looks it looks brand new. You can imagine what these look like brand new, or you could refer to the video that I made when the dime was new and tell me whether or not you think those laces look any different in the comments. But I think they look great, or the inlays, I should say. The striping looks great. The stitching is unaffected. There's no damage to any of the stitching. Everything looks just as it would coming out of the box. And, you know, I have to say that the same thing is true for the logos. I picked yellow. I didn't tell Mario this. I don't even like yellow that much, but I picked it because it's hard to hide imperfections in yellow as opposed to like if I had gotten black or silver or whatever. It's more difficult to hide imperfections in this color. But what do you see? None on either side. There's nothing on either side in terms of imperfections. Thing looks great. So happy about that. Let's talk a bit about the dimpling. This is my only really one of my gripes with the ball. This is another gripe I have, but Mario and I have spoken about this, and I want to pass that along as well. The dimpling is, I'm not a fan of dimples on the ball as a quarterback. I don't know if that's just me, but the balls that I use the most, you know, GSTs and stuff like that, I have brushed the dimpling basically out of the ball. Like that panel there where the valve is, there's almost no dimpling left. I really like throwing this ball that way. Your fingers really sink into it, and the leather is very soft. I don't know if I had asked Mario to nail the dimpling down or to grind the dimpling down, brush the dimpling down, whatever, with the lathe, the auto brush, maybe he would have done it. Maybe he wouldn't have. I don't know. But I didn't ask for that. And so I can't hold it against him. My personal preference would be that it's lower than this, but I can do that myself. I can brush that down if I want to. That's no problem. The other issue that I have with the ball is that the ball's a little slick. It's not quite as tacky as I want it to be. Now, that said, you know, in terms of Mario's communication, again, outstanding. I emailed him when I got the ball, and I told him I thought it looked and felt great in terms of softness, but in terms of tack, it wasn't quite there for me. And he said that because the ball has been in packaging for a while, and actually it was in packaging for an extra day because we had a snowstorm yesterday, so the ball was delayed by a day. What you can expect is that the ball, after brushing and maybe after like one more conditioner run and one more tack bar run, it'll tack up a lot. I think that's probably true. The reason I think that's true is because the same thing was true of the Omega ball, the good one that I got from Wilson. The ball was pretty good. Like this was soft, good quality leather. It felt like it was a high quality product, but it was still missing that little je ne sais quoi for my Quebecois listeners and viewers. And that extra punch that was needed was conditioner, tack, and that's it. And so I think I'll probably do that with this ball. He also told me to brush it a bit. I'll be honest, I did brush this already, and I was half expecting to see some discoloration because I just thought there's no way that this ball is this dark without a brush being able to take something off of this. But sure enough, man, it didn't lose any color at all. To Mario's credit, along the way, he did say to me that the way he's able to do this so well is that he spends an inordinate amount of time taking the color, the dye off the ball when he gets it before he starts the rest of the process. That's a difficult thing to do. I've tried this on so many balls, most recently this F2000, and getting the dye off with shaving cream, a rag, you name it, is like impossible to do. I've tried rolling around in the snow. I've tried doing all kinds of stuff over the years, and I've never been able to get the dye off entirely. Mario did it in no time. So, you know, with that said, that's really the only negative feedback I have about this whole process. And for that negative feedback, I emailed this guy who doesn't know me from Adam on a Friday night, and he emailed me back right away. He gave me some ideas, brush it, try some conditioner, try some tack. It's stuff I had already heard. But, you know, when you're kind of going through the process of making a video and talking to the vendor and all this stuff, you forget. And that's evidence of a guy who's done this a bunch. Speaking of, if you look at his videos, he's got tons of equipment in his lab. Tons of balls are there. They're all getting the same treatment. They look good. And this is a guy who I think knows what he's doing and does it at a level that's hard to match. Extra points because Mario doesn't sell $50 mud in a tin. He may use $50 mud in a tin, but he refuses to sell it to you, which I think is great. I'll just note a couple of the services he has. I'll pull up the website one more time here just for, you know, shits and giggles. He's got obviously the service where you buy the ball through him and pick your configuration, which is what I did. Easy to do that if you want to do that. He's also got a number of different balls. He's an authorized reseller of Wilson products, which it's pretty good, honestly. Like that's a sign that you're doing something right. You can say what you want about Wilson. I know people that watch this channel have their fair share of criticisms, as do I. But when Wilson gets something right, they get it really right. And to be an authorized reseller, I think is pretty important. So you can get all kinds of stuff here. You can get youth balls, you can get custom balls, you can get anything from big games, so dimes, obviously the Vapor Elite. You can get the college football playoff balls, the Wilson with the blemish, which you can get on Amazon here. They even have the Omega on Mario's website. Be curious if Mario had the same experience with the Omega that I had, that a lot of you had as well, that Wilson ended up contacting me about. Seems to have been a problem, but maybe Mario's got the fix for that leather. I don't know. Again, if I look in the comments for these balls that he's done, there is just there's no negative feedback. Now, it's possible Mario is policing the comments, but honestly, I doubt it. Having dealt with them myself now, like I said, it's been great. So if you want to buy a ball there, you can. You want to ship a ball there, you can. He'll send you the package. If you're in Canada, you have to realize that there are ways for you to get this stuff. You're not limited to Litton's. Litton's has some good stuff. Litton's is a local store for me. I live in Dundas. It's a good spot, but they don't have balls like this. They don't have break-ins. They don't have, the high-end stuff. They have GSTs, Dukes, and whatever sort of mid-range Nike ball is available. They actually don't even carry the Vapor Elite. No, the Vapor 1, anymore, for whatever reason. So they're getting away from a lot of these balls that have been like stalwarts for rec quarterbacks and high schools and stuff like that in favor of GST only. I think they told me a little while ago, actually, that they're losing their contract with Nike for sure on the glove side, but maybe also on some other stuff too. Or maybe that was cutters. I don't want to speak out of turn, so pretend I didn't say that. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you're a Canadian and you want something like this, go to Mario, tell him I sent you, and get it done properly. I'll report back if I have problems with the ball, with the slickness going forward. But I think that, again, for a guy like Mario, if he tells me that, this is something he's seen before, it seems like it's something he's seen before, I'm sure he knows how to fix it. I'm not the only one. Certainly he's doing this for high school teams and doing it in bulk and stuff like that, if not at a higher level than that, even still, and not having any problems. So do I recommend it? I think I do, honestly. It's hard to beat the look of this ball for sure. But the softness, like even the balls that I use to throw, the leather is soft, but the place you really notice it is on the seams. The seams are a little sharper here. Sharp is a sort of maybe the wrong word, but it's the best word I can think of. They're sharper on the GST than they are on the Vapor Elite. These are softened, and I think receivers are really going to like that. So I would say that if you have a couple of bucks you're willing to spend and you don't feel bad about getting a quality ball, a quality service, and quality customer service, rare these days, Mario's your guy. Game Ready Football Prep. I think I got that right. How many times am I going to say it before I'm sure? GameReadyFootballPrep.com. And if you have any questions, hit me up, comments. You guys have been messaging me on Twitter too. If you got questions, I'm happy to take them there. Or if you want more pictures of the ball, some more detail, video, whatever, let me know. Happy to do it. As I said, I'm doing this for you guys, not for me. I think that I'll probably wind up throwing this ball in game, maybe not tomorrow if it's still this slick, but soon, because it just feels great in my hand. And I want to try it. I want to see what the receivers think, and I want to see what I think. So yeah, do I think it's worth it? I do. Give Mario a shot. Until next time, boys and girls, mostly boys probably. Take care. Happy throwing.